Hello students, today we are going to study chapter 4, A Truly Beautiful Mind, from the textbook Beehive. This chapter is an account of an outstanding scientific personality, Albert Einstein. Or we can say this is a short biography of this great scientist, Albert Einstein, which tells us about his birth, his theories, his achievements and his death. Here, the title, A Truly Beautiful Mind, is referred to this great scientist. But a question may arise in your mind that how can a scientist's mind be beautiful? This is because in this chapter we'll come across another aspect of Einstein. His qualities have been highlighted, his qualities or attributes have been highlighted through this chapter. But we come across another aspect of Einstein, that is, he was a humanitarian. He advocated world peace, non-violence, and that is why the title is quite apt. Let's move on to the chapter. Early life of Einstein. Albert Einstein was born on 14th March 1879 in the city of Ulm in Germany. He was born to German parents, and when he was a child, no one could predict that one day he would become a great scientist. Here it is written without any indication that he was destined for greatness. Destined word means that has to happen in the future, right? Means fate. Nobody knew that he would become a great scientist in future. And Einstein's mother thought that he was a freak because he did not behave. Freak means the one who is unusual in behavior or looks, right? So she always thought that he was a freak because he did not behave, talk or look like other normal children of his age. He behaved in a different manner, and it seemed as if he had lesser intelligence in comparison to other children. Albert's mother thought the little boy's head was a bit too large in comparison to other normal children. Einstein started speaking when he was 2.5 years old, and that too with little difficulty, means he was not able to speak properly, and when he started speaking he used to repeat the words, and due to which his playmates used to call him brother boring because he did not interact much with other children. Since his childhood, Einstein always remained to himself. He always used to play with himself, and he had a keen interest in playing with mechanical toys. Mechanical toys are the toys in which some kind of machinery is used. And once, looking at his newborn sister Maja, he said, "Fine, but where are her wheels?" Means he was such a child who always wanted to know each and everything. He wanted to use a logic behind every action, and he was curious to know the reason behind everything happening around him. So he used his brain and he asked, where are her wheels? So we can say that Einstein had an analytical mind. Once the headmaster of Einstein's school told Einstein's father that he would never be successful in whatever profession he would choose. Einstein was a very good violinist, and he learned playing the violin at the age of 6 because his mother wanted him to learn to play it. All his life he was an amateur violinist. Amateur means unprofessional, means he played the violin as a hobby. When Einstein was 15 months old, his family moved from Ulm to Munich, and he went to high school in Munich, and he was a bright student. He was not a bad pupil, it is written. Pupil means student. He was a good student who scored very good marks in almost every subject. The school where Einstein went for his studies had a very strict discipline which he disliked. He did not like it at all. Due to that, he often clashed with his teachers' opinions and opposed them. At the age of 15, Einstein felt so stifled. Means when he was 15 years old, he felt so suffocated in that school due to its strict discipline. Means he did not like that environment, and he left the school forever. When Einstein left the school, 1 year before that, his parents had moved to another city, Milan, which was in Italy, and Albert was left behind in Munich with his relatives. Einstein had a long discussion with his family and relatives. And finally, his parents agreed to put him in a school in Switzerland, where the language for communication was German. Einstein was good in studies and he was highly gifted in mathematics, and he had a keen interest in physics as well. So, after finishing his school, he decided to join a university in Zurich, another well known city in Switzerland. But science was not the only thing that appealed to this dashing young man, smart young man. He was a good looking and smart man with the walrus mustache. Walrus is used for bushy and hairy mustache. Other than maths and physics, Einstein liked one of his fellow students, and her name was Mileva Maric. He thought that she was very clever, sharp, and intelligent girl. She was from Serbia and she had come to Switzerland because the university in Zurich was one of the few in Europe where women could get degrees. Einstein felt that Mileva was a friend because she also liked art, literature, or music. Both shared this common interest in art, literature, and music. And because of having same interest, they both liked each other. And soon this couple fell in love and they exchanged love letters to express their feelings. They used to write such kinds of letters where they used to mix science with their feelings. For example, Einstein talked about his scientific invention and said that he would be very proud on that day when they would finally conclude their paper on the theory of relativity. In the year 1900, when Einstein was 21 years old, he completed his graduation from the university, but at that time he was unemployed. And from 1900 to 1902, means for almost 2 years, he was working as a teaching assistant and gave private tuitions also. So finally in 1902 he got a job in Bern. Bern is a city in Germany, and he got the job of a technical officer in a patents office in Bern. Patent means a document which gives the rights of an invention to an inventor, and Einstein was supposed to be assessing other people's inventions. Einstein was actually developing his own ideas in secret. That means Einstein was supposed to check the inventions done by other people and give them a patent. On the other hand, secretly he was making his own inventions too. And Einstein later said the desk on which he worked was the Bureau of Theoretical Physics or the Office of Theoretical Physics. According to him, the drawer was his office of theoretical physics. Why did he say that? Because there only he started working on his inventions secretly. In the year 1905, Einstein published his first paper, and it was about special theory of relativity. And in that publication it was stated that the measurement of time and distance is not absolute. It depended on something else. Absolute means measured in itself, not in relation to any other thing. According to this theory of relativity, we can say if there are two clocks and both are moving, they will not show the same time. One clock will move faster than the other. This was proved through this theory. From this followed the world's most famous formula, which describes the relationship between mass and energy. And the formula is E equals to mc square. In this mathematical equation, E stands for energy, m for mass, and c for the speed of the light in vacuum. So this theory of relativity actually gave us the basic formula of physics. Here E is equal to mc square. This formula is everywhere applied in physics, right? So to put it into simpler words, Einstein said that when you sit with a nice girl for 2 hours, it seems like 2 minutes. On the other hand, when you sit on a hot stove for 2 minutes, it seems like 2 hours. That is relativity. So a person would feel the timing differently in different situations. While Einstein was solving the complicated problems in physics for the world, his personal life was unraveling. His private life was unraveling. Unraveling means starting to fail, means his personal life was becoming problematic. Einstein wanted to marry Mileva soon after he finished his studies, but his mother, Pauline Einstein, was against their marriage. Why was she against? Because she thought that girl Mileva was 3 years older than her son and was not suitable for him. Pauline also thought that Mileva was very intelligent to be a wife, and she told Einstein that Mileva was also like a book and was quite similar to him. So she was against their marriage, due to which Einstein had to cancel their wedding. But later the couple got married in January 1903. They had 2 sons from this marriage. But a few years later the marriage faltered. Faltered means became weak, means their marriage failed. What was the reason? The reason was Mileva was losing her intellectual ambition and becoming an unhappy housewife. Means she could not fulfill her dreams, she could not fulfill her ambitions, whatever she had decided earlier, she was not able to fulfill all that. So she started becoming very unhappy. She remained unhappy with her married life. She was not at all happy with Einstein. After years of constant fighting, the couple finally divorced in 1919. And after that, Einstein married his cousin Elsa the same year. For the second time, he got married to his cousin Elsa. When Einstein married Elsa, another thing coincided. Means it was Einstein's rise to world fame. He became world famous and everyone acknowledged him as a great scientist. So in 1915, he published one more paper which was based on general theory of relativity, which gave a new interpretation to gravity. In the year 1919, there was a solar eclipse which proved that Albert Einstein's general theory of relativity was absolutely correct. Einstein had calculated in the year 1915 that in the year 1919 there would be a solar eclipse, and due to it the apparent position of the stars would change to some extent. So his calculation was absolutely correct. So it was announced that Albert Einstein's work was a scientific revolution. Einstein was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics in the year 1921. He was showered with honors and invitations from all over the world and lauded by the press. In 1933, when Germany came under the power of Nazis, Nazis means the most famous party, and the ruler was Adolf Hitler. At that time, Einstein left Germany and shifted to United States of America forever. After 5 years, the Germans discovered the process of nuclear fission, the process through which nuclear bombs or atomic bombs are made. So this process was prepared in Berlin. Due to this, all the physicists in America were upset as they feared misuse of this technology. There were many scientists who escaped to America because of fascism. Fascism was a dictatorial concept which was started in Europe from Italy by the rule of Benito Mussolini. So all the scientists were afraid that the Nazis could misuse the atomic bomb. Albert Einstein was requested by a colleague, and so he wrote a letter to the President of America, and at that time Franklin D. Roosevelt was the American president. On 2nd August 1939, he wrote this letter to the President of America, Mr. Roosevelt, and he warned him that the atomic bomb which was developed by Germany was very, very powerful. And if one of these bombs exploded on any port, it would not only destroy the area, but also it would destroy the surrounding territories. That shows Einstein's humanitarian quality. He wanted good for the other people. He wanted peace in the world, and that is why he wrote this letter. This letter was a letter of concern, and he wrote that letter to the President of America and warned him. But his words did not fail to have an effect. His letter had an impact on Franklin D. Roosevelt. So what happened after that? The Americans developed the atomic bomb secretly and dropped it on 2 cities of Japan, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. In the year 1945, the Germans had just developed the atomic bomb, but they did not use it on any country, but America did, and due to which Einstein was deeply shaken by the extent of the destruction caused by the use of atomic bomb. Now, the second time, Einstein wrote an official letter to the United Nations organization. He proposed to form a world government but this latter did not bear any fruit. For another 10 years, Einstein was involved in world peace. He was involved in politics, and his agenda was to stop the countries involved in collecting arms and developing weapons. He campaigned for world peace and democracy. Actually, his main idea or main agenda was world peace and freedom of people. When Einstein died in 1955 at the age of 76, he was celebrated as a visionary. Visionary is a person who can think about the future in an original and intelligent way. Means he was such a wise person, a thoughtful person. He could foresee the future. When he died in 1955, the world celebrated him as a visionary. He was considered as a world citizen and a scientific genius too. So, to conclude, we can say that Albert Einstein was not only a great scientist or a genius, but also a great humanitarian who believed in world peace, democracy, and freedom.